Alright guys, I am literally risking my life right now. Take a look at the surroundings. I'm walking in downtown LA right now at night, and it's definitely gonna be one of the more interesting environments I've ever filmed in. But in tonight's video, we're gonna get into how to eat to build muscle and burn fat. At the same time, I'm gonna go over my current macros, precisely what I'm doing right now to build muscle and burn fat at the same time with my diet. Then I'm gonna get into why you absolutely have to do carbohydrate cycling every single week. And then we're gonna get into carbohydrate timing. So we're gonna get into some really cool stuff. Got a, oh shit, got a liquor store behind me. They got a liquor store in the hood everywhere. So, all right, now we're back on the man drag, walking to the LA Fitness here in downtown LA. So let me first talk about my current macros, because I think if you guys understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, it's gonna help you guys implement your diet as well. So what I'm doing with my macros right now, so keep in mind, I've been doing this for about 2 months. My current macros are, and this is my weekly average. We're gonna get into why it's so important not to eat the same amount of macros every single day, and why it's really crucial to do carb cycling and carb timing. But my current macros right now, for my weekly average, 210 grams of protein, 225 grams of carbs, 65 grams of fat. Now, that may seem a little low on the fat intake, but keep this in mind. You only need a certain amount of fat to maximize your hormones. So I get the majority of my fats from like a byproduct of eating wild-caught salmon and nuts and like really healthy things that keep your testosterone levels high, and also organic whole eggs. Like after a certain point, all like that excess fat, all that it's doing is adding a ton of calories into your daily intake. And at the end of the day, when we're trying to maximize fat burning, you gotta be in a slight caloric deficit for this to work. So I keep my fat pretty low. I recommend for you guys probably keep your fat 50 to 65 grams depending on what your body weight is. I'm also trying to be a little aware of my surroundings right now because I see some questionable behavior up here. But anyways, onward and upward. So 210 protein, 220 carbs, but 65 fat. So that's my weekly average of my macros. Now, let's talk about the two most important concepts you have got to take away from this video. Now, keep in mind, if you fuck up your eating, it's impossible to build muscle and burn fat at the same time. So you gotta get this dialed in. Number one, carbohydrate cycling. Carbohydrate cycling is so important because what it does, it's gonna boost your leptin. And not eating the same amount of carbohydrates every single day is really crucial when it comes to having that awesome... Let me backtrack. You guys gotta understand, I'm getting a little sidetracked because I'm not used to walking in the hood. So, okay. Carbohydrates. Let me explain it like this. To maximize fat burning, you have to have periods of low insulin. To maximize muscle building and growth, you have to have a period of high insulin. So in every single day, we're gonna have a growth period, then we're gonna have a fat loss period, and now we're gonna cross the street. So what I mean by this is, for at least a 12-hour stretch every single day, you wanna have a period of time where you're low insulin. So we achieve this by eating predominantly protein and healthy fats. That's gonna maximize our fat loss. And then our period of high insulin is gonna be post-workout. So post-workout, that's where we're gonna eat the majority of our carbohydrates. So carbohydrate timing is so crucial when it comes to building muscle and burning fat. So just my macros that I just went over, I try to eat about 80% of my carbohydrates for the day in my post-workout window after my big heavy workouts. So I typically will work out without many carbohydrates in my system. I burn off all my glycogen, and then I'm using like 150 to 200 grams of carbs in my post-workout window to maximize growth, maximize insulin. And then the rest of the day, for like a good 12, 14-hour stretch, I'm not eating any carbohydrates at all. So I'm keeping my insulin levels really low. So you see what I'm doing here? I have periods where I'm high insulin, post-workout, where insulin can actually fuel muscle growth. And then for the rest of the day, I have periods of low insulin, which is gonna translate into fat loss. We're going over a highway, guys. Could get a little noisy, but I always love these like walking style videos. So I'm gonna give you guys some epic footage here from literally downtown LA, crossing a highway. late at night, about a mile away from the hood right now. Now, every single day, it's really important that you don't eat the same amount of carbs and macros. Your body is really stubborn. You gotta switch up your carbohydrate intake because having one high carb day and one low carb day and a couple moderate carb days is gonna boost leptin, it's gonna keep your metabolism really high. So, I gave you my weekly averages of my carb intake, but it's really important to have some structure on your moderate and your high and your low carb days. So, I'm training 6 days per week. My one off day, I have low carbs. I'm literally eating like 50 to 75 grams of carbohydrates on my off day. My insulin levels are low all day long. I have high protein to keep those amino acids in my system. Now, I'm also having 4 to 5 moderate carb days every single week. These are basically my normal eating days. I'm gonna have about 220, 230 grams of protein on my moderate days. Now, this is key. 1 day per week, what you wanna do is you wanna have high insulin, high carb day. This works best on your heavy training days or your weak muscle group that you're trying to bring up. So maybe do it on a leg day or do it on a pull day. Let's say you're trying to bring up your back and your biceps. So the one high carb day, you have got to get this right. Gotta get this right, guys. So what I do, I jack up my carbs to about 400 grams. My protein's at about 180. My fats are almost non-existent. So I literally will eat like 35, actually no less, like 25, 30 grams of fat all day on my high carb days, just so the total calories for the day don't get out of control. Because remember, the weekly averages, we gotta be in a slight deficit. We gotta maximize times of low insulin and high insulin. So, hope that makes sense, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, but also I'd love to help you guys out with your macros. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm trying to take some time each and every single day to help you guys out. I want to create an awesome community on the channel. I want to give you guys just the best free advice and literally like spend time with you guys. Like in the Instagram DM, I was just helping somebody out with their macros. So hit me up on the gram, slide on my DMs, hit me up with the YouTube comments. I want to get to know you guys. And I'm so excited to keep on traveling all summer long, give you guys some epic footage. So I'm almost at LA Fitness, but this was my little hacks on how to build muscle and burn fat and how to eat to properly do this. So let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below, and I'm gonna see you guys on the video tomorrow.